And just like that, we have reached the end of season 2. All right, season 2, episode 11. I'm Tammy. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get right into it. I didn't care for this episode. It felt like, I don't know, like disjointed to me. Did it feel like that to y'all? I know it took me a couple days to watch it because I would start it, get busy doing something, restart it, whatever. But I don't know. I didn't care for the episode. But if you haven't already, don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and then as always, leave a comment down below. All right, so Carrie is really gonna keep this little kitten. It's fitting. I did see on Twitter people feel like they're turning Carrie into like the cat lady. It's one kitten, y'all. I was just shocked because I don't think we've ever. I don't know. I don't picture Carrie as having a pet, but nonetheless. So we finally get Samantha's Kim Cattrall's triumphant return, whatever. And it's her calling Carrie to let her know that her flight is delayed and she won't be able to make it to the Last Supper. Carrie didn't even know she was coming. So Carrie is like, "You're sorry for what?" But apparently Miranda and Charlotte told Samantha about the party, about the dinner party, and Samantha was going to fly in to surprise Carrie. She wants to pay her last respects to the apartment. Um Carrie is like, "That's fine if you missed the party, let's grab lunch tomorrow or whatever the case." Miranda said nope, she was literally coming in town just for the party and then she was going to leave and go back. So she has Carrie put her on speakerphone and she gives like a little tribute, whatever, to the apartment. And then that was kind of it. It was very lackluster. I think it's because it was so overhyped. I think if they would have just let Samantha's return for this one scene be more of a surprise, it would have done better. But they hyped it up, and for it to be her having 10 sentences, I don't know. I just think it fell flat. It fell flat. So meanwhile, Carrie's little kitten is trying to escape already. So I mean, she really do keep that door open at that apartment. So Charlotte waking up hungover. Y'all know that Charlotte was out kicking it with her people, her co-workers the night before after selling Sam Smith their picture. Shout out to the person that corrected me in the comments. I didn't know that Sam Smith was now a they them. Okay, so I apologize for that. I did not know. So after selling Sam Smith their picture, she went out with her coworkers. So Anthony is there because I guess he wants to talk about, becoming the bottom. And it's like, I feel like that whole situation with Anthony and Giuseppe, it could have been so much more than their relationship being reduced to you don't want it up your ass. You know what I mean? Like, without trying to sound vulgar, but like I just feel like that relationship they could have progressed it a little more. So Harry is telling Charlotte that he can't do everything. He can't do it all by himself. And she said, "Oh, but you aren't." She said, "Because the stuff that he's doing is really the bare minimum. This is the bare minimum of what you expect out of me and what I have been doing and women have been doing for ages." And then she goes in on this tirade and tells him that, this is just what you expect me to do. And now that I am working and getting back into my career and having, my life back, my life, not just being a mother and a parent, but like I'm getting my life back, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. And if that's something that you cannot handle, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm expecting you to pick up the part of the slack that I need you to pick up. And Harry's just like, with him. Because I mean, yes. So we get Miranda. Miranda goes to see Steve at his new shop. It's called Paul's Daughter. So is he selling Scout? I guess I didn't understand that. Is this like a second like restaurant he's getting? Is he selling Scout? I was very unclear about that. But Miranda has this like conversation with Steve about how she doesn't want him to forget about her, even though they're not married anymore. They're going to go through with this divorce. She doesn't want Steve to just move on with his life without her. They were a part of each other's lives for years. They have a child together. So she wants to be a part of his life, in some type of capacity. Steve was like, as friends, right? Because if you're going to come back to this side, you're going to come back and be straight. I don't want no parts of that. What Steve said is, you're not going to spin the block on me, okay? We done. We going to stay done. So, we get, they have Brady come riding his bike in the back, and we get this moment of him, I've said before, like, my parents are still married, so I don't know what it's like to be a child of divorce or to, like, go through that. But you can just see, like, contentment and almost like relief over Brady's face, just seeing his parents at least talking. They don't have to necessarily get back together, but they're at least talking. So I think that, like, relaxed him a little bit. So, Naya. So Naya is in her office, and this gentleman comes in. I guess one of her boss or co-workers comes in and lets her know that she has been admitted to the American Law Institute. It was unanimous. So she goes home. She's excited. She tells Miranda. And then after telling Miranda, she's like, the first thing that I went to do was to text Andre, who is her ex-husband, but we're not together anymore. So she's like, that's what I've been reduced to. And Miranda's like, no, like, you have the life that you wanted. Your tenure, you're in the American Law Institute. Like, this is the life that you wanted. And Naya's like, yeah, but with no man to come home to. Nobody to share it with. So she doesn't want to go to Carrie's party anymore. And Miranda is like, Michelin chef. And she's like, so you think some food is gonna make it all better? But they're gonna go with each other's like buffer and support animal. Emotional, they're gonna be each other's emotional support friend. We'll say that. So we get to the Last Supper. Again, I thought it was lackluster. I did. I felt like they went through and they tried to tie up every single storyline that has happened over the 2 seasons in this one scene. This one scene. So we see Charlotte finding out that Lisa miscarried later in the episode when Carrie is introducing little baby Shu, her kitten, to everybody. Lisa has this moment of, like a wave of emotions, we'll call it. She had a wave of emotions come over her. She goes to the bathroom. Herbert follows her. And Lisa feels guilty. She feels that she might have, like, wished the baby away. And that's what ultimately caused her miscarriage. And they both, Herbert's like, no, it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be. So they have a good moment. I feel like Lisa and Naya had the best storylines this season. They did. I feel like we saw a very humane Lisa. We saw Naya dealing with, like, the remnants of her divorce. I think they had the best storylines. Like, it got deep. We saw a real life day-to-day instance of somebody. You know what I mean? So we have Lisa. So we get that gets closed up. When Naya gets to the party, she sees the chef that she curved a few episodes back. So he is the Michelin chef. So while they're downstairs talking, he was like, yep, I remember you. You were married. She was like, was. Now I'm single. So now it leads us to believe that they're going to, get together or at least have some type of conversation, dating type, whatever in the future. Miranda gets upstairs, immediately speaks to Shay. And it's like, we can't ruin Carrie's party. Che agrees. They're talking. We were a train wreck as a relationship, but this, that, and the other. And they come to an agreement that, what they had was what they had. It was growth for both of them. It was eye-opening for both of them, but they are going to walk their separate paths. Truth be told, Miranda is too good for Che. Right? And I really don't like saying that about people. I really, really, really don't. But Miranda is too good for Jay. Miranda is an accomplished lawyer. She's intelligent. She has her own shit. She has her shit together. Aside from, and when I say she has her shit together, Miranda can work. Miranda can pay her bills. I'm talking about that. Is Miranda confused about what she wants to do, or maybe even confused about her sexuality at this point? Yes, but she's very open about that. Che, on the other hand, chooses to be self deprecating and lashes out when her life isn't going the way that it should be. You know what I mean? Or the way that she thinks it should be. So we get that closed up. We find out that Giuseppe is thinking about going back to Rome. He said he's having some issues with the New York publishing. You know, Giuseppe is a poet. Anthony had no idea that this was going on. So the two of them go and they're talking. And Giuseppe said that it's really because Anthony has his walls up. He has his guard up. And Anthony is like, is this because I won't let you do me in the butt? And he's like, no, it's more than that. And it's basically like, you're not letting him in. Truth be told, if we're thinking in terms of the show, though, Anthony is still technically married to Stepford. So, what did I call him? Stanford. He is true. He is still married to Stanford. So, they have this conversation, and Anthony is like, well, I've only ever been in love once before, and I was totally in control. I called all the shots. And Giuseppe is like, you love me? Anthony's like, yes, didn't I tell you that? No, you didn't. You knew you didn't. So I think now that we got the closure from Stanford from the last episode, or was that earlier this episode? From the last episode, now that we got that closure, Anthony is going to move forward, and him and Giuseppe are going to try to really give this relationship thing a chance. Who else? Seema's still tripping about the fact that she told Ravi, I love you first. And this, I don't understand this. Like, I kind of like Seema, but I kind of don't. Um, so Seema told this man, I love you. He said, I love you back. Seema is just tripping that she said it first. So she's talking to Carrie and letting Carrie know that I told him I loved him, and now he's on the phone all the time, and he could be talking to other girls. He's claiming it's the studio. She's damn near spiraling. And Carrie is like, I think it's just fear. You're talking solely out of fear. You're scared. You need to just breathe. So we see throughout the dinner, Ravi is getting all these phone calls and keeps stepping away. You know, he is a movie director. So he goes downstairs and he's on the phone, and Seema comes down and is like, you've been gone since the first appetizer, like you're missing a bunch of stuff. And she thinks that he's been talking to a bunch of other women. And he's like, no, I'm trying to film at the Greek Sphinx, and I have to like leave New York now to go do this. And he's like working, and she's accusing him of being on TikTok and social media, she said, with other women. She was like, I told you I loved you. He said, yes, and I said it back. So your insecurity, your fears, all this stuff that's up in your head, not only is it an attack on my character, but it's your own insecurities that's doing this to you, sis, because I'm not doing anything. And he told her, I haven't been ticking or tacking with anybody outside of you. And he doesn't even understand why she's even accusing him of doing any of that. So you can see in that moment that Seema kind of realizes, yeah, might have messed up, because he gets a phone call and it is indeed his studio again, to kind of prove to her, I'm not out here doing nothing foo la la, like I'm really working right now. So Carrie has them go around the table like Thanksgiving and say what they are going to leave behind or give up. Was Lisette not at the dinner? Did Lisette say a word? Where was Steve? Wasn't Steve supposed to be at the dinner? I didn't count. Was it 14 people there? I just have a lot of questions. But, you know, everybody was saying, like Miranda said, Naya said yesterday, Charlotte said limits, Lisa said guilt, Miranda said guilt. um Seema was like distressed. Like they went through and kind of said things that tied into their storyline. And then after like the party's winding down, Miranda goes and tells Carrie she has to leave because her boss just called her and she has to go get on the BBC now to get on air. So Miranda goes running out to do that. Carrie's sitting there with this cat, okay? Her and Shu. And Aiden is like throwing rocks or whatever at her window. Aiden actually comes up to the apartment. And when I tell y'all this pissed me off because you could have been came up to that apartment, whatever. I think the whole thing about I'm never coming back to that apartment, I'm not going there, let's keep wasting money going to hotels, all the other stuff, like I get what y'all were saying. They had arguments and it was, some of the worst moments in their relationship were in that apartment. I remember, I get it, but I also think there has to come, if y'all are truly grown and y'all have grown um, within yourselves and together, and you think that you want to try to make this work now, 20, 25 years later, then why not really see if you have grown? Because it really just feels like Aiden is just running away from like the harder parts of a relationship. But Aiden comes up, and when he didn't come up with any luggage, I knew something. So basically, he tells Carrie that he's not going to stay. That's why he doesn't have luggage, and he needs to go back to like really focus on his son. So Wyatt is 14. Wyatt has shrooms in his system. And it's kind of odd. I think the writing is odd, the way that they make sure that Aiden keeps saying very specifically what happened with his son. Is it just me? But he's always like, yeah, he left Kathy's house and then he went to my house and then he drank. Like he recants the entire story. I guess I would just kind of be like, he got in this accident. I need to focus on him. Why? Like Aiden keeps making sure to say exactly what happened. I don't know. I thought that's weird. That's weird to me at least. So basically, he tells Carrie that he needs to spend more time down there and he's not going to be coming back up here anymore. At the end of the day, Carrie starts to put the pieces together because at first she's like, yeah, take all the time you need. He said, basically, I'm not coming back at all. And she was like, not even when it's Kathy's week. And he's like, no, because that's when it happened. He wanted to come back to me like I'm home. And I think I get what Aiden is saying, but it just sounds like a cop out. It sounds like a cop out. So he wants Carrie to wait 5 years for him until Wyatt gets out of his teenage years. Y'all are old AF. Nobody is waiting 5 years. 5 years? I guess I don't understand. Even if he just comes for like a day or two. You know what I mean? Even if he comes up for a day or two. Even if Carrie goes down there for a couple of days. But then he's like, yeah, and my other boys are 17 and 20. They need me. Ain't them kids in college? I don't know. I knew this was going to happen, though. I knew this was going to happen. And you can see Carrie just, she wants to fall apart, but she doesn't because her word was expectations. So Aiden swears that nothing's going to change between them. Are y'all going to talk on the phone? I just have a lot of questions. I felt like it wasn't very clear what is going to happen, what they're looking to have happen out of this. I don't know. So they get through that. Then we get a montage of like everybody having sex. Carrie and Aiden are having sex. Anthony is being a bottom. Seema and Ravi are having sex. It's insinuated that Naya's gonna have sex with the chef. We see Lisa and Herbert just like cuddling in bed. They go right to sleep. Charlotte and Harry trying to set up this phone. They want to go get rock. They want to and then we see Miranda, who is just talking with the lady from the BBC. I kind of wonder why, if they're going to shift Miranda into like the broadcasting space. I think that would be interesting to see. Like if she's going to switch careers. I know she wants to be like a human rights activist and lawyer and advocate now, but I wonder if she's going to switch to broadcasting in some shape or form. And that was kind of it. At the end, when Aiden leaves, Seema calls Carrie and they wind up in Greece. And it just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what season 3 is going to give. I enjoyed the show, but I did not like this episode. Like I said, it was weird. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Are you guys going to watch season 3? How do you guys feel about Samantha's return? Do you think it was overhyped? Otherwise, I will catch you guys in the next video for something else. Peace.